small ranch in Kansas, in the middle of America. My little sister Bonnie and I were biking in that state. That lunchtime, I was called in. Spring brought big skies, crystal blue skies, and puffy white clouds. And I wanted to take one more bike run because no one likes being told what to do at 8. I descended from my family's hilltop home to my father's garage. I hit a bump while going fast, stopped my bike, and went over the handlebars. After lifting off the seat and feeling like I was flying, my awareness opened up full throttle. I remember pausing for a moment before hearing a sickening thud and almost hearing myself hit the ground. After my little body crumbled and my lips sighed, it went black. I awoke on my back, blinking, and everything was blurry. I knew there was a bright triangle of light somewhere and everything else was dark. After coming to, I tried to get up but couldn't. I was really heavy, not just tired, and couldn't stand. It felt like I was in a corpse. So I looked into the rectangle of light and saw a figure with 2 arms, 2 legs, and whatnot, but I couldn't tell if it was male or female, so I assumed it was my little sister. I asked the figure, "I need you to get help. Please get help. Get mom and dad. I can't, get up. I really need help." It didn't move. I got upset thinking it was my sister and got really angry. The figure didn't move when I said, "Mom and dad are gonna be so mad at you. I need you to help me. I can't get up. You're going to be in so much trouble." As I remember, I go into more detail about this in my book, Loves, Miracles, and Misery. My name is Kara Marlene, and I died at 8. My location was a small ranch in Kansas, in the middle of America. My little sister Bonnie and I were biking in that state. That lunchtime, I was called in. Spring brought big skies, crystal blue skies, and puffy white clouds. And I wanted to take one more bike run because no one likes being told what to do at 8. I descended from my family's hilltop home to my father's garage. I hit a bump while going fast, stopped my bike, and went over the handlebars. After lifting off the seat and feeling like I was flying, my awareness opened up full throttle. I remember pausing for a moment before hearing a sickening thud and almost hearing myself hit the ground. After my little body crumbled and my lips sighed, it went black. I awoke on my back, blinking, and everything was blurry. I knew there was a bright triangle of light somewhere and everything else was dark. After coming to, I tried to get up but couldn't. I was really heavy, not just tired, and couldn't stand. It felt like I was in a corpse. So I looked into the rectangle of light and saw a figure with 2 arms, 2 legs, and whatnot, but I couldn't tell if it was male or female, so I assumed it was my little sister. I asked the figure, "I need you to get help. Please get help. Get mom and dad. I can't, get up. I really need help." It didn't move. I got upset thinking it was my sister and got really angry. The figure didn't move when I said, "Mom and dad are gonna be so mad at you. I need you to help me. I can't get up. You're going to be in so much trouble." As I remember, I go into more detail about this in my book, Loves, Miracles, and Misery, but I remember having that conversation while noticing my surroundings. I remember looking away from the figure at the darkness around that rectangle of light. I remember seeing nothing but that darkness. The longer I looked at it, the bigger it was, like space. After realizing I was looking in, I realized I was on my back in this body, but something felt very wrong, and I looked back at the rectangle of light. I missed the sky, barn, cattle, things, and rolling hills. As I absorbed this, I realized I wasn't on the ranch anymore. My mood changed. The place where I was looked like the ranch with the garage door, but it had changed, so this was probably where you went when you died or on the way there. I felt like I was somewhere in transition. I remember looking at the figure and only moving my lips and eyes. I spoke to the figure again. "Am I dying? Am I dead? Is this heaven?" And this overwhelming peace came from within, like a deep, deep place opened up inside me. Joy and peace realized that as I sensed and took in all this, there was no fear. I wasn't afraid of where I was or where I was going, this place, this figure, or that I couldn't move. I realized this was the ultimate peace. I realized this is what love feels like. My emotions were overwhelming after realizing this. Your cup filleth over. You're flooded with that. I remember pondering that. I looked back at the figure and saw it change. I felt awoken when I saw it. There was a voice inside me. It came from that number. It inquired about my readiness, and I pondered that question, thinking about my family, life, animals, etc. After a few moments, I said, yes, and my inner voice said, yes, I am. And then that place of peace, or dwelling place, bloomed. So much of me fell into that. And it wasn't scary. It just felt right, like falling into love's arms. Knowing where I was going, I trusted it because it was my destiny. As I fell into that, it got darker, and I kind of lost consciousness. I remember crossing it. No peace space existed. After crossing a line, fear was possible. Fear had no place. Fear was impossible. After crossing that line, I could fear. Since I left a place of fear and love, I know. I returned to my body where fear could exist after this. Hours later, I woke up with a CED mid-sentence. I looked at her and said, "Where am I? What happened?" She got frustrated and didn't understand. Then she went. I remember holding a mirror and only seeing this part of my face. You tend to tilt the mirror up to see the rest of your face. I was shocked because that looked like a lemon-sized lump on a second grader's head. It covered, and after my mother saw how I was acting, not knowing what happened between the accident and those hours later, she took me to the doctor, who said she shouldn't be alive. There's no reason she's alive, even though they said it saved me. It could have saved me that my skull waffled and sold out, but he didn't have a helmet. So he said it's a miracle she's alive. That awareness that I spoke about opened up, gave me wisdom, understanding, and curiosity that I had never had before. So there was a clear change between who I was before and after the accident. That helped me realize I was different. I asked questions that my family and other community members, like kids or families, weren't asking. I felt so loved that peace and tranquility never left me. It became part of me. As soon as it woke up, I thought, well, that's how it is. So I wanted to be some people's friends, which I was glad for. But it also woke me up to abilities I thought everyone had, which I didn't take for granted, but I didn't really understand love, death, and the deaths of loved ones. And then a heightened sense of knowing and understanding and being able to draw wisdom and knowledge that I needed to evolve as a person. After that NDE, I was transformed. I think the divine or God or Gaia will meet us wherever we are and give us a very personal relationship, because my relationship is very personal, different, and tailored to who I am and how the universe or love connects with me. Perhaps because I was so young, I didn't know enough about the world or religion, even Christianity, to study God, angels, or beings. I believe love, or God, chose to show up in that moment to connect with me and guide me into the understanding, tangible feeling, and realization of what love or life is like and what's possible. So I didn't see God or angels or heaven, but I did know the Bible's peace. Everything afterward was clear to me. I had unfathomable peace in heaven, or whatever existed. I had heaven when it existed. So even as a child, I knew that this is what happens after we die, what people call heaven, but I didn't need all of that. Love showed up and supported me, so I returned. So I think I don't have a religion. God and I are connected. Yeah, you said concerns, so how do I feel about the future? Like, what do I think about everything or where we're at? Perfect, I'll answer. Knowing what I've been through, the NDE, and these moments of miracles and magic alongside what people call the misery of life, we've seen such change, right, from 40 years ago to today, right? I believe in us. I believe in who we are, where we're going, and the possibilities. I am so grateful to be alive right now because we have seen such transformation in the last, let's say, 40 years in technology and possibilities. But I believe consciously we have awoken an entire 3 generations, and we're all awake at the same time. And this has started a movement that goes beyond social and political. Together, we suffered a traumatic event. We are healing together, and I know people will talk about humanity and how bad it is, how we've given up, or that we're at an end. I disagree. Knowing this, I believe we can challenge the world's limits. We heal together and feel again. Healing and feeling allow us to create a life we love, which gives us new freedom for a beautiful, unbelievable possibility for some. Because I, too, have faced an insurmountable odd. I had cancer after leaving college and having a successful modeling and singing career. After facing that, I went to my dwelling place, my relationship with the divine, and was miraculously healed. The story continued. After that miracle, 3 more cancer cases were healed. I am 4 times cancer-free because they were miraculously found and removed. Never had chemo or radiation. So I am 100% convinced that we have the power within us to challenge the world and create anything. Some people call it whatever they want. But I have this phrase, it's Disney movie magic. People believe Disney movies or whatever makes them think magic is fake. It's no magic trick, guess, and not necessarily spells. Our existence on Earth is a miracle, so I think we see miracles and magic every day. Like we forget we're on a planet hurtling through a galaxy, a complete and perfect ecosystem. And yours, mine, and everyone listening's odds to be here are 14 trillion to 1. And we're healthy, happy, and have the freedoms and possibilities we have now. That is magic and miracle. As it is, I'm overwhelmed with excitement when people ask me about my situation and what I think about the future because I know what's happened in my life. We could accomplish anything if we all did that. Healing is possible. Healing ourselves, but we could heal the world. Pollution can end. Healthy food is possible. Putting employees first, serving customers, and thinking about the triple bottom line are all possible for businesses. We've seen rapid change. I'll stop talking about this, but I believe we're riding the movement's wave and seeing the change cresting over that hill or wave. We're the successors, and me and you will write that down. I think we're seeing historic change. There are theories in the Bible about why this world suffers and why we suffer. Why don't we just stay in the perfection of love? Since I suffered for a long time, I know this. Regaining joy, peace, love, and perfection after a near-death experience is common right. For me, I believe I was born to live this life. I was nearly killed. I was made for premonitions, cancer, and miracles. I was meant to speak out when no one else would and say that miracles happen. Magic is real, and we can change the world's misery into a magical and miraculous place every day. This is why I think we're here. I'm walking into perfection after this lifetime, I believe. It's just love, the perfect existence with all possibilities, right? Coming back, it took me a while to realize I don't have to wait until death for joy and love. Live that now. Everything changed when I realized that the Bible says you bring heaven down. The joy, life, and love of the other side. Because of that, I think we have near-death experiences or transformative experiences through meditation or journeys, right? This is my view. I think we're assigned here. My purpose here was to help bring heaven down and live a joyful, peaceful, and contented life in the midst of what was. I mean, there's many changes to heal generational curses, unhelpful traditions, trauma, etc. If we heal that, the world will heal because we heal individually. This is why I think we're here. I think we're on the verge of discovering Earth's limits. You can live a joyful and free life now. Not just in the afterlife like people did, right? They said heaven come. Bring it here. Have it here. Since that's my life, I think one of my main goals is to challenge the world's limits and remind people anything is possible. I'm a walking miracle, and I don't take that for granted. I inform everyone. There are others who agree. Many of my friends who have near-death experience channels or have had them and share their stories believe the same. I am so excited that people will get this message and either awaken or already be on their journey and want to join. My solution to world peace is self-love, which may seem simple. It echoes the age-old yearning to love oneself. But if everyone loved themselves, there would be no turbulence, no separation. There would be oneness since love unites, right? So I think my mission is to promote self-love. There are too many coffee cups, posters, and other items using this word. But self-love is believing in that power within so much that I battled cancer. Instead of listening to doctors and medical publications, I followed my intuition and beat cancer. This disintegrated death within me. Or when I felt so miserable I didn't want to be here anymore, not okay with a world where people hurt others who love them. I became depressed after seeing famine, dehydration, and parent-sibling conflict. Healing gave me freedom and a lasting shift I never dreamed possible. I think everything would change if we recognized the power of love inside us, directed inward and outward. Liz Hayes' book says this also. Her claim that self-love leads to world peace is true. You cannot claim that if everyone loved themselves, there would be no division, fear, greed, or immorality. Some of our common difficulties are wicked. What a cruel thing to do to humanity, earth, and life. If we all realize that it starts with us and expands collectively, we could change the world to be more compassionate, grounded, and enlightened. I believe self-love is the answer. Forgiveness underpins self-love's monumentality. My parents, siblings, boyfriends, and friends harmed me deeply. Not only have people in our lives injured us, but the world has as well. It's produced cancer-causing products, filthy food, and water. I got sick from anger, bitterness, and resentment. I recognized I had to forgive to be an example of self-love and overcome disappointment, anger, even wrath, grief, and melancholy. I understood forgiveness when I learned that people can only function on what they know and have experienced. That explains their conduct, not excuses them. Self-help and psychology are my interests. Spiral dynamics discusses each person's evolutionary journey. Once you know the stages, you can see people's center of gravity. Realizing this freed me